My name is James Desborough, and I have tried to commit suicide. I'm 40 years old, coming up on 41. I live in a small village in Hampshire. It used to be a farming village, but for a long time now it's been for commuters and second homes. My family has been here at least 4 generations. I don't farm. I write and I make games. If I hadn't inherited this house that I live in, I wouldn't be able to live here in the village. I'd have had to decamp to a shitty neighbourhood in one of the nearby market towns. Not that they're faring much better. Industrial estates are closing down and standing empty. High streets are shutting up shop. There's precious little work even in retail, even in services, let alone anything else. I also suffer from severe and ongoing depression, to the point of attempted suicide several times in my life. Depression isn't necessarily what you think it is. It's not just being sad, and there's often no reason for it. There's not necessarily a why you can put your finger on. Sometimes, sure, it's triggered or made worse by events, a breakup, a death, a job lost. But there doesn't have to be a trigger, there doesn't have to be a reason. You can get depressed for no reason whatsoever. Whatever's going on in your life, positive or negative, it can hit you. And it hits you more like grief than sadness. It's a soul-crushing sorrow that you feel deep into your bones. It can ache like the flu, it can physically hurt. It can exhaust you to the point that you can't even bring yourself to leave your bed. All this, and it's invisible. Men are more severely affected by suicide. 4 out of 5 suicides are men killing themselves. I've been there. I know what it's like. When you're in that state, you think you're doing people a favour. You think they'd be better off without you. You see no worth, no future to your existence, and that can lead you to the edge. The edge of a razor, the edge of a train platform, the edge of a bridge. You just want that pain to stop. So why is it that more men die of this than women? Women are more often depressed, but men more often kill themselves. The sad truth is that people just don't seem to care as much about men, including men themselves. Men don't ask for help. When they do ask for help, they get less. It's less effective, and they pay a price for asking. Being stoic isn't necessarily bad. It can be a good and valid way of coping with the little problems that we all encounter in our lives. But it can be taken to a terrible extreme. Because of this stoicism, when a man opens up and asks for help, it's usually extremely serious. But he's not often heard when he does ask, because men are supposed to be able to cope with anything. It's a sign of weakness to ask for help, and it can invite scorn and abuse for men in a way it does not necessarily do so for women. This can stop the men who are able to ask for help from doing so. The help that is available, at least here in the UK, is limited for everyone. The National Health Service operates on a very necessary system of triage, and mental health services cost a great deal of money, and there's no real cure at the end of it. Economically, effectively, they're a bad prospect. What care there is prioritised to families, to women with children. This is understandable, but it does leave men out in the cold. It can take months to be seen by anyone other than your doctor, and all that they can offer you is drugs, which can take months and months to get right. When you do see a therapist, all they can really offer you is cognitive behaviour and talk therapies. Talk therapy is less effective for men. It takes longer for us to open up, requiring more and longer sessions in a system that's already stretched well past its limit. Men seem to respond less well to talk therapy, and while CBT is somewhat better, people need a variety of different approaches, men and women alike. These simply aren't available. Even going for private care, the different requirements can lead to extra costs, and many of the men in bad places and needing help, whether from divorce, loss of work or other disruptions to their lives, have less capacity to buy any of the help they might need, and they'll need more of it. Men find it hard to ask for help. Men are scorned when they do. Men are less helped by the aid that is available. Men are not valued or cared for in our society in the way women or children are. I don't know what we can actually do to help, but I know it starts with talking about men's problems. Even that, though, has been too much to ask, and has even been laughed at, even in government. The very idea that men have problems, even in the face of these suicide statistics, is seen as laughable, risible. That has to change too, but it has to change in a way that men can accept. A way that allows them to be strong even when they have to ask for help, and provides them with the kind of help that works for them. I've lost people to this, and there are many other men in my circles who are desperately ill with depression. I don't want to lose any more. And when I'm not depressed, I don't want to die. It starts with talking. It starts with taking our problems seriously. Suicide isn't the only problem that men face, but it's a start, and it's one that, hopefully, everyone can see needs addressing. I'm still alive.